Some quick background. I've always been ambitious and started a bakery pretty young. I was able to do it through a family loan, which I'm grateful for, and a lot of grit and insane hours. The dedication led me to miss out on a lot of things. While I'm incredibly proud to have built something that's turned into a super part in my neighborhood, I've definitely missed out on a few things. One of which is that I'm 35 and single and childless. Although I have no regrets, I do want to find love. This is a topic of frequent discussion during family dinners with my parents and sister. It's not an unwelcome discussion and my parents don't nag. They ask everyday things like, "How was that coffee date last week?" Or "Did you like so and so?" And if things don't work out, they don't say anything much. Usually, it's not a sad discussion, but this week, I was sharing a bigger than usual disappointment in a recent failed date. We gone out a few times, and I thought it would turn into something, but our schedules were incompatible. After hearing this, my sister piped up. She said she wasn't surprised because I had a negative and unfeminine aura that turns away men. My parents tried to shut her up, but she kept going on and on about how men would find my energy aggressive because I set too many boundaries. She ended by saying that I should try manifesting a positive love story and that by going into relationships with negativity, I was manifesting failure. I was honest, be so mad at this point that I just blurted out, "Well, maybe if you manifested a job, you wouldn't be fighting with Tom, her children's father, over child support payments." She has 2 kids with Tom, split 50/50 custody, and tries to live off her child support payments by staying with my parents. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with the addicts. She always complains about not having nice things. I.e., she wanted a Chanel bag and was jealous Saffron got one for her anniversary and refuses to work. My dad offered her an admin job at his company, but she hated sitting for so long. She immediately started crying at the table, causing us to cut dinner short. My parents are trying to not take sides, but have recently asked me to apologize because my sister has been making social media posts about me weaponizing her poverty, and being a bully. By the way, to call herself poor is honestly a slap in the face to people actually facing poverty. She lives in a gated community in my parents' home. She refuses to come to my mom's birthday party next week if I don't say sorry. I feel like she deserved it, but I can tell my mom's upset. Either way, the boundaries my sister says the result in me manifesting negativity are things like me turning down a date on the 4th of July weekend because I own a bakery. It's a huge weekend for my business, requiring me to be all hands on deck, pumping out pies and pastries. Am I the idea for weaponizing my sister's poverty during a family dinner? Well, maybe if you manifested a job, you wouldn't be fighting with Tom over child support payments. Holy crap. What a good burn though. Not the idiot and heroic. I usually try to keep peace, but you shouldn't throw stones from a glass house. The only way I would apologize is I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Don't come at my life, and I won't come at yours. We're sisters, I think. Can we please just get along for mom's sake? If that's not good enough, then I'd say, fine. Your problem, don't bother me until you grow up. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. Yes. That burn was epic and deserved, honestly, not the idiot. Your sister seems jealous. I'd speculate because you exerted yourself to make your business successful and consequently can be financially independent. In contrast, she's wholly financially reliant on your parents and her ex. You didn't weaponize her poverty, you observed it. I don't think you owe her an apology. The thing is, can you on what she will do when op does find themselves in a long-term relationship, possibly marriage, then it will be sister upset that op has it all. A thriving business, and a relationship, and how she's rubbing her nose in it just through sheer presence. This is the thing OPE's cystic dig in on to feel better about herself. Exactly. Divorced, unemployed, living with mom and dad using child support as salary, jealous of others. Why hasn't she been able to manifest a positive love story? Hopi, I suggest you think about one thing though. You're right. Sister tries to live off her child support payments by staying with my parents. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Respectfully, yes, there is something wrong with that. Child support is meant to support kids, not exes. Your sister is being unfair to the children if she uses their money to support her needs. She needs to get a job. You know, as grown-ups do. My son burps a lot while eating. I've tried telling him multiple times that it's rude. I've told him to slow down so he doesn't swallow away with his food. I've said to him that it's disgusting. My wife will instantly jump in to defend him. She'll say that's just the way he is and that it's not his fault. The thing is, he can control himself when I remind him. He chooses not to. He just went on a date with his girlfriend last night and she taught him a new butt. It was his first time meeting her parents since they lived in another city. They went out to a fancy restaurant, and he burped through supper. He came home almost in tears from her chewing him out for behaving like an idiot in front of her family. I heard him telling my wife about it, and I laughed. She asked what was so funny, and I reminded them both that I tried dozens, if not hundreds of times, to teach him table manners, and he rejected them, and she protected him. I said that now he's a grown man and had to learn the hard way. They both think she overreacted and that I'm the idiot for being amused by his experience. Am I the idiot? Edit, my son is 22 years old. 20 goddamn 2, I was expecting, like, 16 or some crap. Not the idiot op. That's hilarious. I'm dying here. Surprised he didn't fart, stick his hands in his pants, then ask his date to sniff while going, "You are not the idiot." The girl did not overreact. Hopefully, he learns a valuable lesson from this. I'm taking a leap of faith that you and his doctor have eliminated the possibility that your son has a medical issue. I'm assuming he's just an immature and poorly socialized young man. Sadly, I've known a few young men who think they can belch and fart around girlfriends and their parents like they do with frat brothers. Still, consider apologizing for laughing at his situation and introducing him to the Art of Manliness website. He will lose jobs if he does this at work functions. I'm sure his bosses will love having an employee act this way. He's probably gonna support this idea when he's jobless. His mother has coddled him for so long. He's so thick that he'll have to learn this the hard way again and again until he finally realizes the problem is with him and not with other people. Hello. Well, she's trying so hard to prevent him from learning this. The mother sounds like one who needs therapy to let her son go. The kind of mama would still pick out his underwear and dress him. Seriously, the older I got, the more moms like this were the deal breakers. I have 2 daughters, 2,320. They're beautiful and intelligent, and I love them both. I also wanted them to be strong and independent women who could stand on their own feet, and I tried to raise them that way. They were both interested in volleyball and I always supported their interest. My younger is playing in a team and studying at a good university. She's really hardworking. And even if she doesn't succeed in playing professional volleyball, she'll definitely have a good job. My older daughter quit both sports and school when she got pregnant at the age of 18. When she first told her she was pregnant, I was very set and advised her to have a procedure because having a child at such a young age would disrupt her life. She didn't want to have it, and my wife supported her decision. I was very insistent on her at that time, but when I saw that she remained determined, I dropped the issue and supported her fully, even though I didn't want to. She got married quickly with the baby's father, then she decided to stay home and care for her child, and her husband started to work. I never wanted my daughter to depend financially on her husband, but I never voiced her either. But of course, my daughter knows that I'm bothered by this. Yesterday, we were having dinner with my daughters and my wife. My wife and daughters started talking about being a mother. My wife told her that even though I wanted her to end it, I now love my grandson. My daughter asked me if that was so. And I said, of course, I love him. I love my grandson, but my daughter knew that I was bothered by her situation. So it didn't sound sincere. Might also said I could give her an honest answer. I told her that I really love my grandson, but was disappointed that she'd become a mother early, had left school and her job and was now dependent on a man. She didn't argue with me, but the rest of the night was tense. At the end of the night, she went home, and my wife started a fight over what I said. I told her that she was the one who wanted an honest answer, but my wife was sure that I was an idiot. My younger one agrees with me, but says I was rude to say it out loud. You are the idiot. I'm the daughter in this situation. I got pregnant when I was 16. Was it a great idea? Absolutely not. But once the decision was made, it was done. Well, my mom was exactly like you. Consistently brought up things like how she thought my life would be different. She was disappointed because I was such a young mother and had much bigger plans for me. It's such a shame I didn't listen to her when she told me to abort, etc., for years. Well, guess what? Now I'm 37, happy I'm successful, and my daughter is 21 now and one of the best people on the planet. But guess who I haven't spoken to in 4 years because I got so tired of listening to the crap over the years? That's right. My mom. If you value your relationship with your daughter and grandson, it's time to let go of the dreams you had for her life and focus on being a support and kind part of the life she has now. I feel like you didn't even read what he wrote. He is not constantly bringing up anything. He was asked point blank and told to be honest, so he did. He also stated that he supported her after she made up her mind. This is nothing like your situation. Also, he's not saying he's disappointed in her for having the baby. He's disappointed that she decided to be a stay-at-home mom at 18 and has no plans to support herself. Ah, you're not the idiot. She acts, and you answered. And if your wife is mad, ask her what the heck she was doing, bringing up that topic in the first place. Years later, she's asking, hey, your dad wanted you to get rid of your baby. Remember that? Jesus. Update your comments have actually helped me understand my ideas better. I'm not sorry that my daughter doesn't live the life I want. I'm sorry that she lives dependent on another person. And I can't say that their marriage is going very well. They chose the sport they wanted to be interested in, the university they wanted to attend, their hobbies, etc. I didn't force anything on them. All I wanted for them to be self-sufficient. I also told my daughter I would pay for a baby or if she wanted to return to school or get a job. Yes. She's only 23 years old and could still have a career, but she's not doing that. I'm sure that one day her marriage will end. I can't explain in detail how I know this. Her husband doesn't have a high income and won't be able to support my daughter and grandson well enough. I won't be in her life forever, so I want her to have a career and be able to make money. I should have expressed myself better. You're right. I will apologize to my daughter for that and explain myself better. My daughter is 23, and she requested dinner with us because she had something important to tell us. My wife and I. She introduced us and came out. My wife was emotional. Gave her a big hug and told her how proud she was. On the other hand, I did not react to her coming out. I didn't care about that part. I was honest. Her partner was cool, and she was very interesting. My wife told me I was rude for ignoring our daughter's announcement. I told my wife I didn't care who she was attracted to. All I cared about was if she was happy. I tried explain that I didn't care about that stuff. People like who they like, and I don't need labels. Love is love. She said my viewers slightly phobic because it shows I'm not acknowledging a different perspective. I don't see it that way. Am I the idiot? Should I apologize to my daughter and her partner? Edit for added context, I didn't treat her situation as any different from her brother's. I took the time to get to know the person they were with. My wife feels I should have treated it differently because they're different situations. Ignoring that fact doesn't help. Not the idiots. I will never understand what is phobic about people treating gay children precisely like they treat straight children. Isn't that the ideal that we're striving for? When I came out to my parents, they said, "That's nice, dear." It didn't change my relationship with them. That's how it should be. It might seem weird if one parent gives the child a hug and the other just sits there saying nothing to acknowledge what was said. People don't have to do a big do, but I do think maybe matching the energy and giving her a hug too would have been better. Your wife's reaction was lovely, invalidating. Man, I don't know why everyone expects a parade when they come out. If Op went above and beyond, she'd probably say Dad is mocking her. Hello. Well, sometimes you can't win. Opie, your wife needs to treat your daughter like her preference is normal. Overcompensating can be just as bad or a jack because it highlights the difference. I, female 32, 37 weeks pregnant and was an eye obstetrics appointment. Yes, today with my husband, male 33. This is our first child, and I've been quite lucky so far with the pregnancy, but I've been having some unaccounted for pain, which is making me quite concerned. I went to the ER 4 days ago, and the doctor on court checked me out and told me it was safe to go home, that I should bring it up at my routine appointment, seeing as it was so soon yesterday. Obviously, this has my husband and I quite nervous, so I was hoping for some answers when we saw the obstetrician when I walked into my appointment with my husband. It was the usual doctor, female 40s, and a younger girl 20s I hadn't met before. The younger girl was introduced as a trainee midwife who would be listening in on the appointment. I didn't have an issue with this, although it would have been nice to have been asked rather than having this sprung on us. Never mind, the appointment carried on. The student midwife was not at all confident in what she was doing. It was clear that I was one of the first patients she's seen, and she was very shaky and shy. Again, there are no issues, we all need to learn somehow. My actual issue arose when describing the pains of the doctor and how it feels like I can't breathe when it hits. The student midwife started laughing when I said that, but the doctor gave her a stern look, and she stopped. Then as I continued with my description and an overview of what happened in the ER, the student midwife said almost to herself, "I've never seen a stillbirth before." I say almost to herself because it seemed to have come out of her mouth unconsciously and almost as if she was thinking it and didn't realize what she'd said, but I got very upset. I liked the student midwife right in the eyes and told her to get out. She looked like a deer in headlights, but I stood up and told the doctor that one of us was leaving. And if it wasn't gonna be the midwife, then it would be me. My doctor asked the midwife if she could please leave the room, and she was quite apologetic with me, but told me to be understanding because the student midwife was still young and learning. My husband supported me and told the doctor we did not want to see the student midwife again. The rest of the appointment carried on like usual, but I called my mom 67 in tears when we were in the car. I felt like I'd held it together in the hospital, but I wanted to vent to my mom. She shocked me though by saying that I'd been unfair to the student midwife and that she needed these learning opportunities so that she could develop a bedside manner. Now I feel a little bad about my reaction and wonder if I was the idiot. Jesus, not the idiot. Why didn't the OBGYN kick her out after she laughed at your symptoms? Then implying that your baby was going to die, you probably could have dacked the girl, and you still wouldn't be the idiot. If anything, you taught her a great lesson. Maybe she should look into a different line of work. Second this, she is not entitled to learning opportunities if she can't shut her trap. Having tact is also a part of her training, and until she learns it, she needn't be in any appointments. I'm very disappointed your regular doctor didn't throw out that student. That was an absolutely disgusting thing for her to say. Your mother is being ridiculous. You can't train a bedside manner on to someone who laughs at pain and gets excited by the idea of, well, you know, I'd be horrified if someone I was supervising said something so awful. That's the type of comment I report to their educational program. Honestly, I hope that girl is kicked out of the midwife program. She has the wrong temperament. Hope everything is okay with you and your baby. And good luck with the birth and parenthood.